Hello, and welcome to another Contemplative Living, where we talk about concepts to bring contemplative living into our everyday lives. You know, Spirit once said to me, use your heart to know this moment. Let the future unfold like the petals of a flower. So that inspires me. You know, when Spirit gives messages like that, it moves me forward. And what we're going to talk about today is how our spiritual practice is a process of self-creation. So let's get to it.
Welcome to Contemplative Living, where we view contemplations for the week to have a better understanding of our spiritual paths. This is Contemplative Living with Dave Bennett, contemplations and reflective meditations.
All right, so we're talking about that process of self-creation. And Spirit also said to me, in stillness, we recognize our non-separate energy. And we bring that into our individual expression of loving intention for everyone. We begin to intend and thus create our life, truth, and love, and we bring that into form. Let us share our truth and love unselfishly with the universe. I think what Spirit's trying to say here is, you know, with intention, we bring and create our life. And when we do it from our heart center, our truth, and our love, we bring that back into this physical reality, and it takes form. And we're able to actually start creating not only our life, but influencing our circles, our community, our friends, our family. The practice of dharma is akin to the practice of art, with ethics, meditation, and understanding. One works the clay of one's confined existence into a bodhisattva. You know, it is very much like art. A lot of times we suffer like artists, but that's just part of living life, right? We try to bring everything we have into this life, to give it all that we have. Good morning, Parkview. Great to see you. And so, you know, we're trying to bring everything we have into this life to make it the best life we possibly can. But when we develop a deep spiritual practice, that's our dharma. Our practice is our dharma. And it's very much, you know, it brings us to our core center where our love, our truth, our authenticity resides. And so the more we develop that practice, the more we start co-creating this life that we're living. So practice is a process of self-creation. A willingness to face stillness and allow a response that cannot be predicted or controlled. When we're in that quiet space and we're communing with our higher essence, it takes us, and we have no idea where it's going to take us. It's where it's going to guide us. But when we allow that practice to come into our daily lives, it does guide us, and it shows us when we come to a crossroad which path to take. We don't always know which direction we're going to take. I remember when at one point in my life, I kept getting this message from Spirit, prepare for change, prepare for change. I had no clue what that meant. My mind started putting possibilities, out there, gee, am I going to change jobs? Is, my life role going to change? Well, it certainly did, but not in any direction that I thought it was going to go. So creation is fully realized not at the moment of awakening, but when the awakened consciousness begins creatively pouring out impressions. So as we develop our spiritual practice, we have moments of awakened consciousness. And that those moments of awakened consciousness give us these impressions and show us our future selves in just these minute little flashes. But so we can't realize our future totally, but we can work on our awakened self. And once we start to develop that awakened self, that's when we start to realize how limitless the potential of our future is. Cease being a passive recipient of spiritual truths and become their active creator. Here we see those impressions pouring forth into our physical world. And so when we are involved and when we actively seek to be, constantly growing, we're no longer that passive recipient of spiritual truths. When we first start meditating, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the truth, the higher truths to guide us. Well, at a certain point, we take those truths and we act upon them. We bring them into our life. We bring them into our daily activities and all the circumstances that we find ourselves in. And with those truths, we're able to enact in a more conscious and awakened state so that we can become creators of our future. We can influence our moment to moment. And our self-creation is like an unfolding story. We read and interpret while identifying with the stars. What we're saying here is we identify with our higher self, which is part of the universe, part of the universal one. We are part of the universal one. And so we identify with that, and yet we can live in this physical world and allow our story to unfold. Allowing is a powerful tool that we can use all the time. It's a powerful tool. Just allowing ourselves to be present, to be authentic, and to interact in all of our circumstances with who we really are by moving forward that way. So in that way, we are co-creators of our reality, of who we are and where we're going. So we're self-creating this life. We're self-creating who we want to be, and we can be connected to that higher source of reality that we know, because we're woven from threads of ongoing stories. Only such a self can create and be created. When we reach that awakened state of who we are, we see that we are a culmination of all of the events in our life, that one has built upon the next to bring us to this moment, to be who we really are. And so knowing that, having that awakened state and having that knowledge at our fingertips and able to employ it as needed, we become that self. We become our true nature, and we can then begin the creation process. So free the creative impulses to envision how you will tell your unfolding story. Our stories are always evolving, always evolving. And the thing is not to get caught up in past stories, but allow them to guide us as to, we've all had successes and we've all had failures in our past. The thing is not to cling on to the success, but to use that as a stepping stone. The same with our failures. Let's not cling on to those failures because we don't want to create more of that reality in our life, but we can be educated. We can learn from those failures so that another stepping stone is achieved. So through our past, we create stepping stones for our future story. Because we have that knowledge. We don't need to repeat it. We have that knowledge within us, and we can move forward in a more empowered and positive way. So I hope you find this helpful in your coming week, and that you give some thought about how you can use your spiritual practice to help you to develop your future self and be self-creative. I hope you join me once every week on Sundays. I try to broadcast this on Sunday morning Eastern Time. Also, check out my Instagram and TikTok, where I put other a lot of the memes that you see here on a day-to-day basis are developed day-to-day through my contemplations, and Spirit guides me through the week as to what the Sunday live stream is really going to be all about. I'm glad you're working on your path. Thank you, Park Street. Good job. All right, take care. We'll see you next week.